not be revealed by writing or by word of mouth, but must be divined as the result of study and meditation. In the Sefer HaZohar it is written that there is a garment, the written doctrine which every man may see. Those with understanding do not look upon the garment but at the body beneath it, the intellectual and philosophical code. The wisest of all, however, the servants of the heavenly King, look at nothing save the soul, the spiritual doctrine, which is the eternal and ever-springing root of the law. Of this great truth Eliphaz Levi also writes, declaring that none can gain entrance to the secret house of wisdom unless he wear the voluminous cape of Apollonius of Tyana and carry in his hand the lamp of Hermes. The cape signifies the qualities of self-possession and self-reliance which must envelope the seeker as a cloak of strength, while the ever-burning lamp of the sage represents the illumined mind and perfectly balanced intellect without which the mystery of the ages can never be solved. The Sephirotic tree is sometimes depicted as a human body, thus more definitely establishing the true identity of the first, or heavenly, man, Adam Kadmon, the idea of the universe. The 10 divine globed Sephiroth are then considered as analogous to the 10 sacred members and organs of the protogonos, according to the following arrangement. Kether is the crown of the prototypic head and perhaps refers to the pineal gland. Chokmah and Bena are the right and left hemispheres respectively of the great brain. Chist and Gebera Pichat are the right and left arms respectively, signifying the active creative members of the grand man. Tefereth is the heart, or, according to some, the entire viscera. Netzah and Hod are the right and left legs respectively, or the supports of the world. Jesod is the generative system, or the foundation of form. And Mauchath represents the 2 feet, or the base of being. Occasionally Jesod is considered as the male and Mauchath as the female generative power. The grand man thus conceived is the gigantic image of Nebuchadnezzar's dream, with head of gold, arms and chest of silver, body of brass, legs of iron, and feet of clay. The Medi-al-Kabbalists also assign one of the 10 commandments and a 10th part of the Lord's Prayer in sequential order to each of the 10 Sephiroth. Concerning the emanations from Kether which establish themselves as 3 triads of creative powers, termed in the Sefer HaZohar 3 heads each with 3 faces, H.P. Blavatsky writes this Kether was the first Sephiroth, containing in herself the other 9 Sephiroth, or intelligences. In their totality and unity they represent the archetypal man, Adam Kadmon, the pt, who in his individuality or unity is yet dual, or bisexual, the Greek didymos, for he is the prototype of all humanity. Thus we obtain 3 trinities, each contained in a head. In the first head, or face, the 3-faced Hindu Trimurti, the 4 Sephirotic trees. The 40 concentric circles shown in the large circular cut in the preceding chapter are here arranged as 4 trees, each consisting of 10 circles. These trees disclose the organization of the hierarchies controlling the destinies of all creation. The trees are the same in each of the 4 worlds, but the powers vested in the globes express themselves differently through the substances of each world, resulting in endless differentiation. We find Sephira Kether, the first androgen, at the apex of the upper triangle, emitting Hahama Chokmah, or wisdom, a masculine and active potency, also called Jah, and Bina, or intelligence, a female and passive potency, also represented by the name Jehovah. These 3 form the first trinity or face of the Sephiroth. This triad emanated Hist, or mercy, a masculine active potency, also called El, from which emanated Gebera, or justice, also called Eloah, a feminine passive potency. From the union of these 2 was produced Tefereth, beauty, clemency, the spiritual sun, known by the divine name Elohim, and the second triad, face, or head, was formed. These emanating, in their turn, the masculine potency Netzah, firmness, or Jehovah Sabaoth, who issued the feminine passive potency Hod, splendor, or Elohim Sabaoth. The 2 produced Jesod, foundation, who is the mighty living one El Chai, thus yielding the 3rd trinity or head. The 10th Sephiroth is rather a duad, and is represented on the diagrams as the lowest circle. It is Mauchath or kingdom, and Shekinah, also called Adonai, and Cherubim among the angelic hosts. The first head is called the intellectual world. The second head is the sensuous, or the world of perception, and the third is the material or physical world. See Isis Unveiled. Among the later Kabbalists there is also a division of the Sephirothic tree into 5 parts, in which the distribution of the globes is according to the following order. 1. Macroprosophos, or the Great Face, is the term applied to Kether as the first and most exalted of the Sephiroth and includes the 9 potencies or Sephiroth issuing from Kether. 2. Abba, the Great Father, is the term generally applied to Chokmah, universal wisdom, the first emanation of Kether, but, according to Ibn Jabirul, Chokmah represents the Son, the Logos or the Word born from the union of Kether and Binah. 3. Ama, the Great Mother, is the name by which Binah, or the third Sephira, is generally known. This is the Holy Ghost, from whose body the generations issue forth. Being the third person of the creative triad, it corresponds to Jehovah, the Demiurgus. 4. Microprosophos, or the Lesser Face, is composed of the 6 Sephiroth, Chizd, Kabara, Tefereth, Netzah, Hod, and Jesod. The Microprosophos is commonly called the Lesser Adam, or Zaran Anpin, whereas the Macroprosophos, or Superior Adam, is Eric Anpin. The Lesser Face is properly symbolized by the 6-pointed star or interlaced triangles of Zion and also by the 6 faces of the cube. It represents the directions north, east, south, west, up, and down, and also the first 6 days of creation. In his list of the parts of the Microprosophos, MacGregor Mathers includes Binah as the first and superior part of the Lesser Adam, thus making his constitution septenary. If Microprosophos be considered as sexpartite, then his globes Sephiroth are analogous to the 6 days of creation, and the 10th globe, Malchith, to the Sabbath of rest. 5. The bride of Microprosophos is Malchith, the epitome of the Sephiroth, its quaternary constitution being composed of blendings of the 4 elements. This is the divine Eve that is taken out of the side of Microprosophos and combines the potencies of the entire Kabbalistic tree in one sphere, which may be termed man. 2. Inserts. A table of Sephirothic correspondences. From Flood's Collectio Oprum. The above diagram has been specially translated from the Latin as being of unique value to students of Kabbalism and also as an example of Robert Flood's unusual ability in assembling tables of correspondences. Robert Flood ranks among the most eminent Rosicrucians and Freemasons. In fact, he has often been called the first English Rosicrucian. He has written several valuable documents directly bearing upon the Rosicrucian enigma. It is significant that the most important of his works should be published at the same time as those of Bacon, Shakespeare, and the first Rosicrucian authors. Pages 123. The Sephirothic tree of the later Kabbalists. Translated from Kircher's Oedipus Iptychus. Having demonstrated that the Kabbalists divided the universe into 4 worlds, each consisting of 10 spheres, it is necessary to consider next how the 10 spheres of each world were arranged into what is called the Sephirothic tree. This tree is composed of 10 circles, representing the numbers 1 to 20 and connected together by 22 canals, the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. The 10 numbers plus the 22 letters result in the occult number 32, which, according to the Mishnah, signifies the 32 paths of wisdom. Letters and numbers, according to the Kabbalists, are the keys to all knowledge, for by a secret system of arranging them the mysteries of creation are revealed. For this reason they are called the paths of wisdom. This occult fact is carefully concealed in the 32nd degree of Freemasonry. There are 4 trees, one in each of the 4 worlds established in the preceding chapter. The first is in the Atsaluthic world, the 10 circles being the 10 globes of light established in the midst of Ein Sof. The powers and attributes of this tree are reflected into each of the 3 lower worlds, the form of the tree remaining the same but its power diminishing as it descends. To further complicate their doctrine, the Kabbalists created another tree, which was a composite of all 4 of the world trees but consisted of only 10 globes. In this single tree were condensed all the arcana previously scattered through the voluminous archives of Kabbalistic literature. Continued. According to the mysteries of the Sephiroth, the order of the creation, or the divine lightning flash which zigzags through the four worlds according to the order of the divine emanations, is thus described from Ein Sof, the nothing in all.